Hi, a film that I was quite interested in seeing, that I caught up with finally recently, was Let Me In, the 2010 remake of the Swedish film Let the Right One In, the new version being adapted and directed by Matt Reeves, who is perhaps now better known for the two most recent Planet of the Apes films. Um, it's very similar to the story from the original film, although the settings transplanted from Sweden in 1983 to the town of Los Alamos in New Mexico in the same year. And it's a story of young Owen, a boy living with his recently divorced mother, lonely, angry, bullied relentlessly, who forms a relationship with the young girl who's just moved in next door with her father. And she's a strange, somewhat outcast young girl herself, and the two develop a relationship. But it becomes clear that there is something strange about her, that her father is involved in some kind of violent, murderous enterprise, and that she is herself involved. Now, if you know the story, you'll already be aware, and this isn't really a spoiler because it's kind of the point of the whole film, that Abby, the young girl, is actually a vampire, and that her father is actually not her father at all, but a guardian who procures blood for her. But the focus of the film is the relationship between Owen and Abby and the ambiguity over whether or not it's a real pre teenage romance or if Abby is just grooming a new guardian for her, given that Owen discovers that she has known her current guardian since he was Owen's age. Superficially, the film is actually very similar to the Swedish version. There is a little soft pedaling in some areas. The ambiguity about Abby's original gender, for example, is soft pedaled into something slightly different. But rather pleasingly, it does follow the example of the first film in Let the Right One In's most famous flaw, which is its terrible digital effects. This film too has several sequences of digital effects where we see Abby attacking people, and they look awful. Um, so it's all the more surprising that the CGI in the Planet of the Apes films looks so exemplary. Whether the work of the same director, presumably a much higher budget, is helpful. Um, Overall, it's a perfectly fair, good quality translation of the original film, but it's really hard to note any particular differences in how the material is handled other than the English language. There's a number of set pieces which are portrayed the same. There are the same story beats and even the same setting, even with Ronald Reagan speeches in the background. One element that I did like, that I don't really remember from the original, is the way that it's very much portrayed from the child's eye view. So most of the adults in the film aren't named, and in fact, Owen's mother, who is a constant presence throughout the film, never has her face shown clearly on screen. As a police officer investigating who was never named and referred to in the credits solely as the policeman, while Owen's father is a distant figure in one scene, appearing only on the end of a phone line. Overall, I would recommend it, but really, it's only worth seeing if you struggle with the Swedish version, because subtitles really aren't that hard. And if you're already watching a somewhat art housey artistic drama about teenage angst, subtitles are not going to be a great deal more of an obstruction for you. That said, it is a fine film, not particularly an individual one, but a demonstration at least that Matt Reeves knows what he's doing and a sign of promising work to come, which we've already seen and are looking forward to more.